the light of my life. You're the place I call home. You're the air that I breathe, and you're a blessing to all. You're the song that I sing, and the perfume I smell. You're my number one fan, and my angel as well. You're the joy in my life, the wind beneath my wings. You're the promise of love, and the forger of kings. You're the power of one, you're the warmth of the sun. You're my sorrow begun, and are second to none. So what's up, guys? Welcome back. This was a tribute. This was a tribute to all my idealists out there, because we talked about the artisans, we talked about the guardians, but as I told you, me for one, well, I'm an idealist. And how are idealists like? Well, I hope you got an idea from that song tribute I just composed like 10 minutes ago and found the guitar tune, you know, and the lyrics and so on. Idealists. Well, what can I say about idealists that you haven't already experienced? I'll give you an idealist's take on idealists, and that's me. Idealists are what I would like to call the light of other people's lives. They are the NFs, you know, the intuitive feelers of the whole spectrum. And what does that mean? That means they're more concerned with the unseen world than with the seen. They won't take things at face value like artisans or guardians do. And they'll be more interested in feeling, in the feeling aspect of life, than in the thinking. Of course, they think just as much as any other people. Okay, maybe a little bit less than the rationals. But they still think, and they're still quite smart people. But they're not mostly interested in that. For them, theories are good only insofar as they generate happiness. If a theory is useful, but its usefulness doesn't generate some sort of happiness for other people, then that's not interesting. It's just a theory which doesn't help. You know, because each of the four types has its own orientation on what is the most valuable. Of course, you know, idealists have impulses too, like the artisans, and of course they like to fulfill them. Of course they value tradition and, you know, morality, and they would like that respected. Of course they value logic, and of course they try to make sense in what they say, and they try to construct logical arguments. But for them it's not about that. For them it's about the soul. They are the most soulful people, and they are about the only ones interested in the concept of the soul. For example, take an artisan. An artisan is out there to experience the world, you know, to be stimulated. He seeks out pleasure and stuff. He's not interested in the soul. The soul can't help him develop more pleasure in his life, okay? Now take the guardian. The guardian may be interested in the soul, but only insofar as it helps others to respect the social norm. You know, they go like this, you know, the cleaver. They have to do things by the rules, and if the soul can help get things done by the rules, then yeah, okay, they're all for the soul. Now the rationals try to explain the soul. They try to measure how the soul works, and they try to devise theories on what is the soul and how the soul works and so on and so forth. But they're not interested in the emotional aspect, more in the technical aspect. So for example, quantum physics. Yeah, quantum physics is linked to spirituality, but its aim is not to be spiritual. Its aim is to explain and to devise a theory elaborate enough and strong enough to account for, you know, the physical occurrences in the physical universe. Now, the intuitive feelers, you know, the idealists, go beyond that. Of course, they value the insights maybe of quantum physics, but they go beyond quantum physics. They go to the meaning of stuff. For example, a rational would just be interested in explaining how things work. If he accomplished that, then he's happy. An idealist wouldn't be happy with just the mere explaining of how things work. Of course, he needs that. He needs to base, his argument on something, but he's more interested in how what works can help people develop a higher sense of meaning, a meaning for their life, because they're more interested in this feeling aspect. And the idealists are linked to the god Apollo, to the god of the sun and of the light. And sometimes they may really be Puritans. They are mostly the most spiritual people. Sometimes the guardians may be religious, because religion, as in Western society, values dogma. It values, the rules, the regulations, the notions of sin and good and right and wrong. But the idealist goes beyond that. You may be in the wrong. You may have done what a guardian would call a sin. But for him it doesn't matter. You are human. For him, values like compassion, like trust, are important, and for him it's kind of hard to break an idealist's trust, because he will trust you no matter what. You don't have to prove yourself to him like you have to prove yourself to a guardian. No, you don't. You just have to be mindful of other people's feelings. You just have to show that you understand that other people have feelings, and then he will like you if you acknowledge them and if you do something to bring some light of feeling into other people's lives, because this is their main attempt. They are the most altruistic people of all. Guardians seem a lot like idealists. They are beneficent. They try to be benefic to other people, but guardians try to be altruistic, and sometimes that makes them look weak to other types. They may be selfless and they may forego their own good for the good of a greater good, for the good of another person, but they're always looking for the ideal, for what things could develop into, how you can grow and how they can contribute to your growth. Now, idealists value one thing above all. They value romanticism above all. And their single most important goal in life is to have a fulfilling romantic relationship. But even though they may be the most giving of all the types, the most emotionally giving, let's put it like that, because guardians may be physically giving. Even though they may be the most emotionally giving of all the types, they are also the most emotionally demanding. And I'm telling you, if you don't have the depth of intuition and the feeling an idealist does, and there's only 50% of the population as idealists, then you may not be able to get what the idealist is talking about. You may not care because you have other stuff to do, okay? The idealist gets that. The idealist knows that. And they love each and every person, but they do not love each and every person in the same way. What they desire is to get you, to connect with you at the most personal level, but they know you are individualities, and they respect that. They know they will not be able to get you 100%, but they are striving to get you as much as they can, to relate to you on the terms you relate to life. Idealists are like water. If guardians are earth and artisans are fire, then idealists are water. And if an artisan can tell, yeah, I'm an artisan, I like to go and live life by my own terms and seek out pleasure, or what is pleasurable to me. Guardians might say, okay, I go to live life and ensure that other people respect what is moral. Idealists may have trouble finding out they are idealists because they will be so much in tune with what other people are feeling that they may sometimes appear to be artisans or appear to be guardians or appear to be rationals. They're not. They're interested in the intuition, they're interested in the unseen, and the more you can get an idealist, the more you can relate to him in his own terms, or in other words, the more you can be an idealist yourself, the more he will feel understood by you, and the more he will cherish you, love you, and open to you. You know? And that's a tough mission to undertake. That's a hard quest to undertake. Because you may not feel inclined to be an idealist. If you're not an idealist, right now, you have your motives. You have some more powerful motivations than this. But trust me, an idealist wants to make your romantic life the most beautiful story and experience you could ever have. But in order for them to do that, you absolutely have to understand that they're an idealist and at least try to relate to them on their own terms. If you can do that, you will be simply amazing to them. And to the degree that you can do that, they will love you more and more. They will love you regardless, but when they feel understood and accepted and related with on their own level, then be prepared. Because not even the fire of the artisans will be able to account for the depth of feeling you will be able to feel. So peace, love, understanding, compassion, and I'll see you next time. I hope you loved this episode as much as I loved sharing it with you. I'll see you again next time.